For where 2 or 3 meet in my name, I shall be there with them. Sermon for 23rd Sunday of the year, 2020. When our Lord handed over power to Peter, his successor, he was also giving the power to make rules and regulations for the church. It was St. Paul who spent a lot of time trying to settle disputes in the early Christian communities that had sprung up. The disciples went all over the Mediterranean, preaching to the people, some were of the Jewish faith and some were of none. So it was inevitable that arguments would spring up. The 10 Commandments were the first set of rules given to the early Jewish people, and they lasted until the coming of the Messiah, when our Lord tried to add the love of God to them and take away the vengeance and retribution aspects of them. On this occasion, he is advising the disciples what to do in the case of somebody in the community doing something wrong. He advises mediation, then suggests peer pressure, and if that fails, then ostracization. Treat him like a pagan or a tax collector. Pagans were not part of the Jewish community because they had no knowledge of the Jewish faith, and tax collectors were shunned because they had collaborated with the hated Roman army of occupation and took a percentage of people's hard-earned taxes. Then our Lord said that whatever they consider to be bound on earth will be bound in heaven. So that gave the disciples the power to make and enforce rules in the early Christian communities. St. Paul in today's second reading enforces this point too. He's saying that all the commandments like you shall not kill, you shall not steal, and so on, are surpassed by the commandment to love your neighbour as yourself. Our Lord is always stressing this point. The love of God is important as love of our neighbour. You cannot have one without the other. St. Paul even says that love is one thing that cannot hurt you.